Hello, and welcome to Spicy Toast Gaming. Thank you for tuning in to another Spicy Toast Gaming video, and today we're going to be covering Yuumi and how she is somewhat secretly one of the best champions in the game. Now, Yuumi, I've often had her at the bottom of my tier lists, right down there with Ornn, thinking she's one of the worst champions in the game. Now, early levels, she is definitely very weak, but once you get her closer to being maxed out, she actually becomes a early game powerhouse. So Yuumi, her and her attach mechanics go very well with her star powers. Game start, summon 2 random 1-cost Poros. These are great, just putting 2 units on the board right at the start of the game, giving you a lot of early game power, but they're also buff targets, so you can just immediately start buffing up your units. You don't actually have to worry about playing any on the board. This really helps your tempo, and it really gets you going right at the beginning of the game. Also, allies have Faded. When you target an ally with Faded, give it an additional 1/1. Faded normally only happens once a round. This second part happens every single time you target them. First time you target them in a round, they're going to get 2/2. Every time after that, they're getting 1/1. A lot of buffs being able to happen for your units. Yuumi, as well as her other units, are attached. What that triggers, give all of your stats and keywords to the unit they are attaching to. That attach mechanic counts as targeting, which triggers your Faded. So in addition to all the other stats you're giving them, you're also giving them 2/2 if that's the first time they were targeted in a round. So you have Quick Quill. This costs 2. You can play it right at the start of the game. It's giving your unit 2/2 quick attack and fury, but then also a additional 2/2 because of the Faded. So right at the start of the game, you have a 1-cost Poro. It has some random keywords as well as 1/1. You use Quick Quill on it. Suddenly it is a 5/5. 2 from the Quick Quill, 1 from the Poro, and then 2 additional ones from the Faded. So you immediately start in the game with a minimum of a 5/5 unit and then 1 other Poro. But this can also scale further out of control. If you get like Evolution, you have 1/1 for each keyword. You have a ton of keywords, so your units are all scaling out of control. Yips, Genius, all your 1/1 units have 2/2. Again, letting you scale out of control. Yuumi herself, one of the relics that works great with her, Bounty Hunter's Renown. I have 1/1 for every 200 gold you have. Unlike most relics, this text actually works. So for with Yuumi, most text doesn't carry over, just stats and keywords. Since this is giving you stats, it works though. So with this setup right here, you're giving a unit Scout and then a whole bunch of stats. In addition to the 2/2, plus the additional 2/2 of targeting a unit, Yuumi can scale up absolutely massively throughout an adventure, where if you're going through a long adventure like Aurelion Sol, you can normally play Yuumi often in the first round because you have some way to reduce her down. Even if you can't play her the first round, you play Yuumi with these stats in addition to everything else. Normally your unit is going to be anywhere from a 10/10 to like a 20/20 right at the start of the game. With the Scout, you can level her up very quickly. When she levels up, now round start, grant the unit Spell Shield and 1/1. Every single round you're getting Spell Shield again, in addition to the Spell Shield you already have when you first play her. Gives you a massive amount of survivability, and all this together just makes you an early game powerhouse. You don't have good removal for most situations, but the 4-cost Minimorph, when you're going up against Aurelion Sol, he's playing these massive champions that have huge inflated stat pools, instantly transforming them into a 3/3. This is absolutely amazing. This is why Yuumi is so good in some of the tougher adventures. While this really sucks in lower games where you just want to kill the unit, you don't want to turn into a 3/3 where it might already have stats much worse. This is so good against the Aurelion Sol encounter and all of those crazy champions that'll really end your game. So Yuumi, I was wrong about her in the past. Now she is definitely very weak in the early game. If you actually take the time to max her out, she actually is one of the strongest champions. I would put max level Yuumi probably like the bottom of A tier, maybe the top of B tier, but she actually is one of the champions that is incredibly good. If you're going into Aurelion Sol, she's not the best in her region because her region has Diana, but I'd say she's actually better than Leona for Aurelion Sol. She can end the game much faster than Leona and much more consistently, which is kind of the most important aspect against Aurelion Sol. Early game powerhouse. I still wouldn't recommend her unless you're actually able to get her leveled up, because again, she is very weak early. Leveling her up is a bit of a pain. If you take the time to do it though, she definitely pays off and is very powerful. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, please like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. Trying to put out daily Path of Champions videos for you. Hope you all have a great day.